Outside of gunfire and bombings, there's another battle playing out in parts of Ukraine, with Ukrainians openly rejecting Russian language and culture. Some going as far as shredding Russian books and eliminating the Russian language from their dialogue altogether. It's a move seen by many in Ukraine as necessary in order to try to keep their culture alive as Putin's forces press on in their attempts to take control of the country. ABC's Patrick Reevell has more from Kyiv in tonight's Prime Focus.
These hundreds of Russian books are being consigned to the dust heap, about to be pulped. At this paper factory on the outskirts of Kyiv, workers are recycling the books, among tens of thousands provided by Ukrainians who no longer want them in their homes following Russia's invasion. The recycled paper from the books is sold, and any profits donated to Ukraine's war effort.
There's a lot of Soviet books here. I mean, there's a lot of Lenin, but there's also quite a lot of Soviet editions of classic Russian writers. There's Pushkin, Chekhov. It's quite shocking to see it. It's really a powerful symbol of the rejection of Russian culture.
The books come from here, this Kyiv bookstore, which has invited Ukrainians to dispose of their unwanted Russian literature.
It's not enough room downstairs. We put it here and then we put it there.
This is 2 to 3 tons of books.
New books, classic books, Tolstoy, you hear. Ukrainians already understood that they are not the same people as Russians. Yes, they during a really long period of time they told us that we are one people, but the Ukrainians already understood that it's not true.
The battle to define Ukrainian identity is at the heart of the war in Ukraine. Vladimir Putin justified his invasion by insisting Ukraine was not a real state.
Вместе с тем никогда не откажусь от своего убеждения, что русские и украинцы – это один народ.
For centuries under Moscow's rule, Russian dominated as Ukraine's official language, while Ukrainian culture and language were suppressed. Today, most Ukrainians speak both Russian and Ukrainian. But Putin's invasion has turbocharged a shift already underway. Millions of Ukrainians are turning away from Russian language and culture and embracing a unified Ukrainian identity.
Тому що я хочу позбавитися всіх своїх російських книг, щоб купити нові українські. Мені стала обридна російська мова через те, що в мене померло дуже багато родичів в цій війні, і я хочу від цього всього позбавитися.
A recent survey showed the percentage of Ukrainians who say they now speak Ukrainian as their primary language has jumped to 58%. Only 15% of Ukrainians now say they mostly use Russian. It's amid a broader effort to remove signs of Moscow's former domination. Ukraine has taken down statues of Russian rulers and changed street names.
In history, there's a lot of dark periods, right, associated with book burning. And some people, I think, when they will see this, they will say that something similar is happening in Ukraine right now. What do you think about that?
We do not burn books. We do not just throw it away. We do not destroy them. We just give them second life. A lot of these books say such things that Ukraine doesn't exist. Ukrainians are not a nation, separate nation. I mean, that it was invented by Russia or something like that.
You can obviously imagine what Russia will say when they see these sorts of things.
We do not force anyone. We just suggest to them, if you want, you can bring. And they do that, and that's it.
In the areas of Ukraine that Russia has occupied, it has sought to erase Ukrainian culture.
So this was your classroom?
ABC's Ian Pannell was in this school in the eastern Kyiv region that the Russians occupied and then retreated from.
The library. This is pretty remarkable what you're seeing, because this is evidence that what Russia was trying to do wasn't just to take over part of Ukrainian land, but to turn it into Russia. Here, they've filled an entire library just with Russian language textbooks, Russian history, Russian literature. In the next room are the Ukrainian books that used to exist here.
The same practice has been documented all over areas occupied by Russia. Moscow has introduced Russian curriculums in schools. Local Ukrainian officials say this photo shows Ukrainian books dumped on the street in occupied Mariupol.
It's not only about killing people, it's also about destroying our identity, our culture, and for future existence. For a year, Russia has been attacking museums, schools, universities, libraries. They did it on purpose to erase any signs of anything Ukrainian.
Olga Zhuk runs the Mistetsky Arsenal Gallery in Kyiv. It evacuated most of its exhibits at the start of the war.
This exhibition, for example, it's about the impact of war on land, on food, and not only for Ukraine, but for the global world.
As she shows us around the gallery,
Air raid siren.
a siren sounds.
This is the shelter.
Yes.
Have you spent a lot of time down here?
Every time when there is a serious missile attack, we all go here, but we don't stop to work.
You refuse to be afraid.
If you do nothing and are paralyzed, it means that you accept this fear, this panic. And for us, it's unacceptable.
Do you think there's going to be a place for Russian culture in Ukraine at the end of all this?
I can't even think about this at the moment. Because for me, Russian culture is really a weapon. It's a weapon which is killing people in my country.
Our thanks to Patrick Reevell and the entire team for that report.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.